are located right now in the Comox Valley on Vancouver Island. We're at the farm of Eat More Sprouts and Greens. We grow year-round 3 products in soil. We grow sunflower greens, pea shoots, and microgreens. And today we're focusing on composting. So welcome to Eat More Sprouts. Our structure is a 5-bay composting facility. We set it up that way because it seemed to be what was the best for us. And everybody's going to have their own choice about what they want to do, how many times they want to turn their compost, and so on and so forth. But you have to decide, this is what my compost structure is. We use the first bay over there for our raw materials. They go in there from our greenhouse stream. We just use these compost bays for greenhouse products and from waste from our sprout facility. So that would be the alfalfa hulls and that sort of thing. The second bay is the big white one over there. And what happens there is we take the raw material over there and we let some of the water settle and be contained and then drained away. We don't want to put excess water into the system and cause leachate to be flowing out our drains and stuff like that. Just so you all know, we usually leave our compost in each bay for about 6 weeks, and that's pretty relevant. In the summertime, it can be a bit faster because it's warmer, and so the environment is more able to speed things up a bit.
Well, when I come in the morning or start my day, I would, first off, check the trap, see if there's any pest activity. We do get some holes in the mesh or to redo things, and bay 1 would be the bay with the most activity because it's, the fresh compost, the food for the rodents. And the stuff back there is the hottest right now. It's the hottest temperature, so that'd be nice for them to go and live in. For our pest control system, we have netting around all the entrances, the windows, and we have doors with screening as well to keep out birds. For rodent control, we have traps situated around the compost bay and around the farm. They're checked, daily while I'm here, and I kind of have a yearly system with the compost where I graph all the temperatures and the weather and everything for the year, rodent activity, quality of compost, anything we're doing differently, and then just my weekly work is temperatures and pest control.
The 5 T's of composting are temperature, timing, turning, testing, and trapping. It's important that when creating a food-safe compost, you consider all these 5 T's because they all play important roles in what you're trying to do.
We've never had anything bad in our compost, any bad test results, but we like to do it monthly for audit records and for peace of mind. The sampling, just like doing the temperature or the pH test, I'll do kind of a V or a W shape, so I get all different points of the pile. I'll usually turn my bag inside out like this. So I don't need a lot of soil to make a sample composite, about this much around each part. So we need about half a pound of soil for a good test result. We're just sampling for E. coli 157 and Salmonella.
Testing, if you're growing for a commercial market, is pretty important. You want to make sure that there are no food safety issues, and you want to make sure that you're creating a product that is as healthy as you can make.
Before I do a screening, I always do the pH test just to see if we want to lime it. If the pH is 6.0 to 6.5 is kind of optimum pH for plant growth. So I'll start out with my demineralized water, little test tube, and a pH test indicator. And I'll do usually 3 or 4 just to get a good sampling. Take a little pinch of compost. Just add about 3 drops of this pH indicator. And there's a little color guide on there. I gently tap the side. So I'd say that's yellow to yellowy green, It's a pH of 6.5, so I'm happy with that. I don't need to lime this bay this turn.
After we're in the third bay, we actually screen the compost with the big red screen in the background there. And that allows any lumps and anything that hasn't been broken down to sort of be put back into one of the earlier bins. And so we incorporate it as a top dressing on the compost in the white bay. After the screening, it goes into the fourth bay where it sits for another 6 weeks. And after that, we turn it into the finishing bay. We still get, even with all of that, we still get a little bit of heat on the finished compost for about the first week or so, just a tiny, tiny little bit. But each step along the way, the rest of the time, there is a huge amount of heat. So we're creating big temperatures, up to 130 degrees. So nice, big, hot temperatures for anything to be killed and allow the microorganisms to work.
This bay has been dewatering, but it's still a bit moist, and not, it goes through a hot cycle and gets, partially cooked, and then once it's turned here, it cooks the rest, pretty much all the goopy stuff gets cooked out of it, and so it's usually the hottest in bay 1 here 3 weeks after I turn it. So I'll take a temperature sample.
The composting process incorporates heat and microorganisms and air, and it breaks the raw material down, and it ends up with this beautiful, rich nutrient source. We really have a great waste stream, and if we didn't compost it, it would have to go somewhere else. And that would be hard. That would cost us a lot of money. So there's a financial benefit, number 1, which is great. Number 2 is the environmental benefits. And the third, once again, financial benefit is that we create our own medium for growing our own products, and that means we do not have to bring that onto the farm. So that's huge. Some of the hazards associated with not composting properly is the potential food safety challenges that lie there. You may end up with plant diseases, which are not useful for anybody who's trying to grow things, because you don't want to have to plow in a whole crop because you had a plant disease and you didn't kill it in your composting process. And it's very similar for human diseases. You want to make sure you have all those 5 T's, the time, temperature, turning, testing, and trapping in hand, so that you are able to really create the best product you can create.